For the past few years now, during Valentine's Day, I've made videos about love and relationships. And this year is no different. Today I'm hitting you with how I dated in my 20s versus my 30s, what's changed, how I've grown, and what I've learned. So I'm going to have a few videos coming out this week with this kind of love relationship kind of theme, particularly because, as you guys know, I've been dating, been on these apps, struggle bus city, and there's been a lot that I've learned, so why not talk about it? One major thing I learned, I feel like, that separates my 20s and 30s is no longer falling for men who had no intention to date me seriously. Now I'm able to see the signs early when someone is not that interested in me or interested in going the distance with me. I know what interest looks like, I know how it shows up, and I don't accept anything less. A man being kind, a man being respectful, and wanting to spend time with me is the bare minimum. Like the bar, that being the bar is at the floor. Of course you should be kind. Everyone should be kind. Of course you should be respectful. Everyone should be. And of course you should want to spend time with me. Like, who wouldn't? That's the energy. I feel like in my 20s, I would be flattered just because, oh, he seems to like me. He calls me, he texts me, he's giving me his time. It must mean that he really likes me. Yeah, it might mean that he likes me, but that's the bare minimum. Just because you like me a bit doesn't mean that you deserve my time, my attention, my energy. There's a barometer of like. And if I'm looking for someone who is giving me their last name, gonna be the father of my children, that kind of like is up here. You wanting to spend time with me and hang out and call me is down here, is this kind of like. And I'm looking for up here. The older I got, the more I learned my needs and wants in a relationship, and I gained the ability to express them. In my 20s, I can't say that I knew my needs other than common decency. So one way I've learned my needs is through experience. A lot of this stuff is only going to be gained with experience. And of course, you can do your due diligence, you can stay read up, you can listen to podcasts. I do all of those things as well, which has also helped me in my dating journey. But very quickly, I'll put on screen some of my needs and non-negotiables in a relationship. My needs don't have to be your needs, but these are things that I need to feel loved, to feel cared for, to feel respected. And I was able to learn this through being in experiences where these were lacking. Being in experiences, both romantic and friendship experiences, where I felt like if these qualities weren't present, it left me feeling rejected, disappointed, or just frustrated even. So this is how I've come to identify some of my needs in a partner and in a relationship in general. It's important to learn what to look for and to be able to read people carefully, but it's also important to be honest with yourself. And I had to learn how to be honest with myself. I had to learn how to stay grounded. I had to learn to trust my intuition and to not let the Disney princess fairy tale fantasy allow me to believe my own lies. I had to know myself, know my feelings, and understand where they were coming from. So for instance, I remember dating one guy and I really liked him and I could tell that he liked me. Although it wasn't up here kind of like, it was like right here kind of like. And I wanted to bring up the conversation of where is this going? Exclusivity, da 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 da. But I also didn't want to be the girl to bring it up. And honestly, in my gut, I knew the reason why I didn't want to bring it up is because I knew that's not what he wanted. I wasn't honest with myself. I just thought, oh, it's not attractive to be that person to say this, to bring it up. Like, let me just go with the flow. Let me be cool about it. Let me calm down. But when I really think about it, I had a lot of anxiety about broaching that subject and bringing up that topic because deep down, I knew that man did not want what I want. And if I were to bring it up, I would then have to wrestle with accepting the truth he told me and walking away, or still sticking there and hanging out knowing this man ain't giving me what I want. And I didn't want to put myself in that position where I'd have to face reality of, okay, I guess I need to leave. And so I felt it in the pit of my stomach, but I wasn't able to be honest with myself about how I was feeling. Instead, we played this little dance. I was fine with telling myself, see, he does like you. That's why he keeps calling you. That's why he keeps asking you out. This is why he keeps spending time with you. See, he likes you, Ashley. Calm down. It's fine. He likes you. And he did like me to an extent. But clearly he didn't like me to the level that I desired, that I deserved, that I needed at that point in time. And this is what I mean about being honest with yourself. Nowadays, I'm really quick to ask a person's intentions. And if they give me some fluffy BS kind of answer, I can be honest with myself and be, okay, you aren't interested. You don't even need to say it. I can read you up and down, and I can be honest with myself and seeing your disinterest, because I know your disinterest in me has nothing to do with me. It doesn't determine my value, my worth. It doesn't determine anything. So I've become so much better at just reading the room, reading a person, and being honest with myself about it. I don't allow for BS answers or little mind games or for me to convince myself to believe a fairy tale fantasy. He shows me attention, he must like me. He called me, he must like me. No, this is the bare minimum. It is not a sign that he likes you like that, and I don't need to lie to myself about it. Just walk away. Even if I come across someone who does like me, just because you like me doesn't mean I have to like you. If we are dating with the same intention, you want a relationship, I want a relationship, it doesn't mean that we would want that together or that I have to want, no. There have been so many times where I was dating someone who didn't want what I wanted and I stuck around and I shouldn't have. But there's been other times where I've met men who wanted what I wanted, but we just still aren't compatible. We aren't a match. And of course, there have been times where I wasn't ready for a relationship and I wasn't ready for that kind of connection. And that's fine too. Just because I meet someone who has the same intention of dating as me doesn't mean we're meant to be. In my 30s, I've come to learn what real compatibility looks like, with the difference and the distinction between chemistry and compatibility, knowing what they both look like and what I'm looking for, and learning to be honest with myself about it all. So earlier I talked about knowing what my needs are now and how to express them, versus before in my 20s, I didn't know how to express nothing. I didn't know my needs. Even if I knew them, I didn't have the vocabulary or the words to express them. I didn't even know if the needs and things that I want, if they were okay, if they were an okay thing to request. And this is the thing about dating a bit younger versus having more experience, is recognizing this isn't too much, I'm not too much, this is okay to ask for or to demand, and being comfortable with setting your boundaries, your non-negotiables, and standing on business with it. In my 20s, I abandoned a lot of my boundaries, a lot of my needs and desires with the hopes of being chosen. In my 30s, I was the chooser, and I knew that having boundaries, having standards, and sticking to them would be attractive to the right person. The right guy who is mature and emotionally aware is going to find my boundaries and my confidence attractive. They will admire it, they will respect it, and they will have their own. Have your boundaries and stick to them. This includes believing who people tell you and show you they are and not giving them the benefit of the doubt. I have found too often when I was younger, I was, trying to be nice. Didn't want to upset this person. I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. This is what a nice person does, and I want to be a nice person, right? But being nice doesn't mean being a doormat. Being nice doesn't mean you have no boundaries and you have to accept anything someone's giving you. I started giving less benefit of the doubt and just believing when people told me who they were and when they showed me who they were. I wasn't in fairy tale princess land. He said this, but I'm sure he meant that. He said it like this, but I'm sure that's not exact. No, that's what he meant. He said it because he don't care. He does not respect you. He doesn't care. This is your sign to leave. My thoughts on how love was supposed to look has changed dramatically. Currently, love is still exciting. It's still fun. It's still butterflies. And occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally it still involves a spark, which is very fun. Very rare, but still fun. Also not a necessity. But mostly now, love to me looks grounded. It looks stable. It looks reliable. It looks like consistency. It looks like a healthy, regulated nervous system, and it's good for my mental health. It's not dramatic or unpredictable, just consumed with passion, high highs and low lows, like how I thought it might be when I was younger. One real example of this is how I might go on a date, or how I might be or even show up on a date. When I was younger, I relished in the idea of novelty and exciting fun adventures. A good date or a good time spent with a guy was all about how much fun I had with him, how much we were laughing together, our playfulness, our banter. It was all about fun. Now, it's still about fun, but I am rooted in reality. I am present. I am grounded. We'll have a conversation, and yes, of course, I want us to laugh and joke and have fun, but I am also listening. I'm way more present now than when I was younger. When I was younger, I might be on a date and I'm so preoccupied with how I'm coming off. How does my hair look? How's my makeup look? I hope this angle looks okay. I hope I said the right thing. I hope he thought I was funny. I cared so much about my likability that it was hard to be present, to really pay attention to them and to know if I even really like them. And now I'm on dates and I'm a detective. I'm having fun, I'm present, and I am paying attention. Listening to what you say, how you say it, the tone, it all reveals character. It all reveals your values, your intention. I'm really there sussing out if I even like you. I'm way less worried about how I looked and how I came off. And I think a big part of that is rooted in experience. After having gone on so many dates, I feel comfortable and confident with the energy that I'm bringing on the date, with how I showed up and with who I am. Having that confidence and trust in myself allows for me to just be more present and to suss you out effectively. How I show interest when I date has also changed. When I was younger, it was definitely more of a hot or cold, playing cat and mouse, being afraid to be too vulnerable and not wanting to give it all away. It was a tease when I was younger. And it was a battle, and you didn't want to lose the battle, right? I didn't want to be the first one to show signs that I liked him. If I showed a guy I liked him, he might run. I didn't want to be the first one to show and tell you if you hurt me. It was all about us running from our emotions instead of embracing them. And it was all about playing a game. And the older I've gotten and the more confident and comfortable I've gotten in myself, I have no interest in playing games. I wear my vulnerability like a badge of honor. I really think it's my superpower. Of course, I had to learn not everyone is worthy of it. You do have to pick and choose. People have to earn your trust and earn you being vulnerable with them. But to the right person, I give it, and I give it freely. I'll let you know when you've hurt me because I trust and know that you would care about hurting me. It's not a battle. I'm not afraid to let you know that I care because we are two adults who are mutually choosing to trust, love, and build together. There is no games. I'm trying to make this as easy and clear as possible, and the right guy is trying to make it as easy and clear as possible for me too. The way this sun is setting and this lighting has changed, oh my gosh. I should have filmed this so much earlier. Sex. Oh gosh, this is a heavy one, and there's so much I want to say about it. I don't even... In my 20s regarding sex, there was a lot of games, a lot of insecurity, a lot of mixed feelings. For one, I placed my value as a person, as a woman, on my sex. I think a lot of things about how I was taught and purity culture really distorted my views when it came to like sex and who I was and my worth as a woman, and created a really backwards messaging. You hear things like, who's gonna buy the cow if you give away the milk for free? And you start to internalize it and just think, this determines my worth as a woman. And if I've given it away, then I am worthless and no one's going to see my value. And it's such a horrible message. And it took a lot of my 20s to like step away from that. Being someone who is about their faith, I still, of course, recognize being abstinent, being celibate. I'm not trying to say any of that is bad, but how you internalize it, it just makes such a huge difference. When I was younger, I thought withholding sex was like a proper punishment. I thought offering sex would make someone love or want you more. There's just so much that was just crazy about my views and intimacy when I was younger that, oh gosh. In my 30s, I recognized that sex does have power, but its power isn't defining me or my worth. Its power lies in the intimacy it can build. And as I've gotten older, I've found the importance of building intimacy slowly. As I've gotten older, I've learned how to say no. I've learned that unless it's an enthusiastic yes from me, then it's a no. And it's okay for it to be a no. I no longer say yes out of guilt, out of, oh, he's gonna expect it, out of, oh, he won't like me if I don't, out of, oh, I hope he doesn't think I'm a tease, maybe I owe it to him. No, it's 100% within my power to determine if my heart, my head, everything is ready for physical intimacy. And I've learned that any man worth his salt will respect that. Any man that is mature and mentally sound will respect and knows that that power is yours. They never want to make you feel pressured. They never want to guilt trip you. They don't sulk or get mad when you say no. Even in the heat of the moment, a good guy is going to respect you if you change your mind, and he'll leave it because he knows that you're a whole human being with thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and not just a toy for his use. Okay, last but not least, in my 20s, I thought I would be married. I thought I'd be married by 25, and I viewed marriage as the epitome of like my goals. It was my life's goal to get married and have kids. And now in my 30s, I'm very happy I didn't marry when I was in my 20s. As you can clearly see, there was a lot of growth that needed to be had. I needed to learn more about men, about dating, learn more about myself, and to equip myself about finding a good man, you know, knowing what a healthy, loving, and happy relationship looks like. There was just so much growth I needed to undergo and experience. I'm very, very happy I didn't get married in my 20s. And also very happy that I stopped viewing it as some ultimate life goal. It's still a goal, don't get me wrong. I want to be married, I want to have kids, but I care more about having a happy, loving marriage than I do about just being married. I care about choosing the right person to have kids with more than just having kids. I'm very much actively the chooser in who I want to spend my life with and who I want to have kids with, and I needed to learn how to develop the tools in order to be a good chooser. Like I said, marriage is also no longer the only goal that I have in life. There is so much I want to do, to learn, to experience. I mean, God made this big, ginormous world. And if my worldview had never shifted and I thought getting married was the it and be all of life, God, there's just been so much I would be missing out on. And it just seems like a very dull existence to me personally. So I'm very happy I've gotten to live and do as much as I have. And I know now that even after I get married and I find my person, I will continue to live and do life and have goals and just fully embrace everything this world has to offer with my partner. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and joining me today as the sun is set and this light is shining bright on my face. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. We got a few videos in this week of love, so I hope you're here for it. Bye.